And we have reached the pinnacle. We've reached Game 5 of the set between Moriatti and Shelby. And it's exactly what you wanted. It's Vatista Byakuya, you know. This well-known matchup between two characters that everyone wanted to see. Sorry, I probably should be taking this a little bit more seriously. But I'm still waiting for some good high quality Vatista gameplay to bring us home from Moriatti against the Byakuya, who I think is this the first time we're casting Byakuya? It's not the first time we're casting Byakuya. We saw Erica get 3-0'd as Byakuya earlier. That was kind of depressing, but maybe things will change today as we see, again, Moriatti not willing to strike with that turn 1 Mikoro Seo, instead opting for the +1 speed boost. Notably, Byakuya has like a weird, interesting answer to speed 4 stuff, or to range 4 stuff, because he has both the 2-4, 3-4, like I believe it's called, I'll plant it somewhere over there, which also allows for the placement of a trap boost, the web trap from Byakuya. And he also has EX or Shredded, which is a 2-5, 4-5 when EX'd, of course, alongside the traditional answers at range 4. So this +1 speed can actually totally get contested by an EX or Shredded here. I think EX all planted somewhere over there is a little bit wasteful. Maybe you want to try to hit with 2 of those, just because the payout on that card is just so good. Because I believe it allows you to, and I wish I could zoom in on the card right now to show you guys, but I believe it allows you to play a web boost and then gain advantage, as we're going to see Superior coming out, so now we're going to be threatening that or Shredded very explicitly, alongside Dive, obviously, and I'll plant it somewhere over there. But I'll plant somewhere over there is definitely your high payout move, because it allows you to +2/+2 your next combat for free, basically. If you're able to land it, because you gain advantage off it, and then it's a whole ordeal. As we see the respect coming out from Vatista, we're gonna play some melee Vatista here. I see. Moriatti's saying, okay, maybe my hand's not the best to deal with the range 4 options that Byakuya has. Let's try some melee, as we're gonna see a backstep come out, not a backstep, a mix-up. Mixing up back to range 2 and then striking. It's gonna be a wild swing focus, and it's gonna be the how shall I cook you. So how shall I cook you? You can reveal copies of a card from your hand, and it looks like we're going to reveal EX become a part of me. So because 2 copies of a card were revealed, we get 2 +1 powers and 2 separate pulls. Of course, the pulls don't actually matter, because focus was wild swung by the Vatista player. So this will be a 6 damage, how shall I cook you? Focus will take 4 from that, due to its 2 armor, and then focus will hit back for 3. Because the How Shall I Cook You was EX. It's weird to see How Shall I Cook You as a combat card. I mean, it's on curve, but I'm just such a big fan of Soul's Oath. Soul's Oath, of course, the boost that Byakuya has, and I believe Seth also has, but Byakuya, for some reason, has 4 copies of this insanely good boost, which reads, you may seal this to advance, retreat, push, or pull 1, and on cleanup, you could spend a life to sustain it if you don't need to use it that particular strike. And we're going to see a mix-up coming back from Vatista into a range 3 strike, so we're now representing the range 3 mix-up. Vatista has a little bit of a twist on the range 3 mix-up, because she has Transference at 2-3, 4-4, Ignore Guard, which is definitely a solid option as well to represent in the range 3 mix-up. So let's see if Byakuya is able to call this correctly. Anything else? I believe that's the only other range 3 option that she has is her fireballs and the laser. I don't think it's gonna be a Lumen Stella. We've not been seeing Moriatti using the Mikoro Seos. He's been using those as boosts, and it's gonna be the Transference beating out the I'll plant it somewhere over here. So at 4 speed, Moriatti will win the speed tie. He will advance 2 and draw only 1, because the Transference was of course played off the mix-up, so you don't get the Vatista UA off it. And it'll be 4 damage. I think Transference is a really, really decent 1 gauge ultra, in my opinion. Back to Byakuya. A little bit cornered here. Byakuya does have like a scuffed. He has a scuffed cross up. He's a 137 hit advance 3. Advance 3 is not far enough in a lot of cases. It just loses to sweep shapes. But I mean, it's an option to get out of the corner if with a strike as well. And you know that's always going to hit, so it's going to be added to the gauge as well. Notably, we know 2 of those cards in Byakuya's hand are currently dead because they're both the 4 gauge Ultra. So not a whole lot of options actually there in Byakuya's hand. Right, because I don't foresee Byakuya boosting a Web Trap raw. Because Vatista will just move out of the way. Unless, of course, Byakuya places it like behind Vatista, and then like Vatista can't cross or something. Now we're gonna see the respect just in advance 1, just a crossover to the long side of the board. Back to Vatista here, still at range 1. We've seen Moriatti pretty aggressively strike into these respects all day, so I wouldn't. Yep, and here even more aggressive. Here's the EX sweep, perhaps. EX Armabellum gets crossed out. Sad. Wild swing cross from Byakuya. Good pull there. Armabellum will take 2 damage because it's EX, obviously. We'll spend the 1 gauge. Interestingly, spends the transference over the Mikoroseo. Don't know the reasoning behind that. Oh, the reason behind that is because Vatista wants to keep that Mikoroseo for a Curse Commandment in the future, where, I mean, he's already at range 5, so makes sense to me. Prefers Curse Commandment Mikoroseo over the Curse Commandment transference, and will give up a force in the future for doing so. So that makes sense, actually. Anyway, we now find ourselves at range 5. Byakuya, of course, does have that or shredded option. A 2-5, 4-3 when EX becomes a 2-5, 5-5. I think I said 4-5 earlier mistakenly. It's 5 power when it's EX'd. 4 power with a single copy. And it also advances Byakuya into a more melee range, which is maybe where he might feel more comfortable. I don't know. But yeah, as we called out before, Moriatti hard telegraphing that's next turn, if Byakuya does not move in, going to be the Curse Commandment Mikoroseo. Which is also nice because it does replace the Curse Commandment in your hand. It looks like we're going to see the EX come out from Byakuya. I believe his only range 5 option is that or shredded. So it's going to be a 2-5, 5-5. Can Vatista deal with this at only 1 gauge? I think Vatista can respond with a Lumen Stella, actually. Yeah, so this only advances 2. And yeah, it is the or shredded. The Lumen Stella would actually be a really, really good answer. Because it would actually trade 5 for 5. But no, just gonna get blocked by Vatista. Drops that second copy of Mikoroseo into the discard. Will take 1 damage. The or shredded will advance 2. Byakuya can moving to range 3. Vatista prepping. 3 gauge for Byakuya, so that EX become a part of me is almost live. Funnily enough, but that's, I don't know, it feels like kind of a big waste of gauge personally. Maybe, I mean, it's Season 6, so Season 6 generates gauge super quickly. As we see the Ruber Angelus boosted, this is going to be a hit, push, or pull 1. When you advance or retreat, add this to gauge, much like Vatista's other Ultra boosts. Hit, push, or pull 1. I wonder what's the purpose of that is. Like, what's the threat that is being represented by Vatista off the hit, push, or pull 1? As Superior now gets boosted on Vatista's side as well. Like, sweep poking out something else? I don't know. Lumen Stella pushing really far back. Range 3 is like a weird one. Could just be for the add this to your gauge when you advance and just representing EX Assault, EX Dive, perhaps. As we see the Soul's Oath come out. Excellent boost. For some reason, Byakuya has 4 copies of this in his deck. I hate it personally, but there you go. And we're going to see another boost. It's going to be the Curse Commandment come out. So yeah, as we predicted, here's going to be an EX Mikoroseo. 3 to 8. 6, 6, 3, 1. This attack cannot stun, however. Notably, this loses hard to Grasp. Because if Byakuya plays Grasp right now at speed 7, and then uses that before, Vatista will be out 3 insane boosts that Mikoroseo goes to discard. Or it gets caught you. Oh. And then pulls to rage 2. Yeah, this was ill-advised. This was ill-advised. Forgot Byakuya even had caught you. Or Minced would have also done the job. This is sad. This is incredibly sad. The Caught You will hit for 1 damage. Will use the ability on Soul's Oath to pull 1 away from the minimum range of Mikoroseo, which will miss, and all those boosts go down the drain for Vatista. That could be game changing. Byakuya now will strike with that EX Become a Part of Me. 1 to 3, 7, 6. Don't remember the ability on it. Wild Swing Dive is not going to work. And yeah, here it comes. Push or pull up to 2 after you may place this in any space as a trap boost. So Byakuya gets to choose the range and then gets the trap boost on top of it. And it's a 7 power ultra, a little bit weak. It feels a little bit weak. But of course it's season 6, so these characters generate gauge like no other. The gauge economy is definitely skewed in season 6. So it's hard to evaluate whether this is an appropriately costed ultra or not. My intuition saying maybe this is just a tad overcosted. But, I mean, it worked in this scenario. What's Byakuya going to really use Gauge for? Like a big change cards action, maybe? And we see another strike coming out from Byakuya. That's going to be a +2/+2 initiation. And poor Vatista just wild swinging again. Oh, Vatista takes it back. I guess Byakuya doesn't have to remove the trap boost. No, we'll remove the trap boost for Wave the Spider, +2 power, +2 speed. Vatista just wild swings again. Sweep's a pretty good wild swing, though. 6 for 6. Sweep's as good as it's going to get. But at the same time, Byakuya gets advantage off this assault. It's a 1/6/7. That's a pretty good card to throw out there. Byakuya gains advantage, and we'll probably just prep off this to refill the hand a little bit. There it is. Back to Vatista, who now finds herself at melee against Byakuya. I'm not sure melee is the correct place to stand. Vatista says, okay, I'll just prep. Probably has some normals to defend at range 1 anyway, like everyone else. That wild swing sweep was very fortunate, though, I will say. Super fortunate to be able to get that 6 for 6 trade. Because Byakuya was winning that combat 90% of the time, I feel. Maybe not 90%, but like 70% of the time. Although Vatista does have a lot of ultras in her deck, so she can just her wild swings are quote unquote more consistent, but also like not really. So I think she just needed sweeper focus, and she got it. Anyway, Byakuya preps again, back to Vatista, who will now attempt a reading. Reading misses. That's no good. We're going to see a copy of the hand here. And the hand is all planted somewhere over there. 5, or Shredded, Minced, Block, and Endless Nightmare. Ooh. Okay, Endless Nightmare can't be hit. Okay, never mind. As we see Moriatti trying to take control of these cards. Okay, just puts them on the side there. Depending on what was called, maybe Minced would be a good answer. And yeah, it is going to be the Minced. Oh, that's not a good answer, though. Minced will deal 3 damage, but Minced, of course, has the property of not flying far away enough, as we mentioned earlier, and will get caught by the sweep. Was there even, like, a better answer in Byakuya's deck? Or Shredded gets pulled as well, so no Minced or Shredded combo. Like, Assault would have been slightly better, although you're sitting at range 1. Both sweeps now down for Vatista, which is important because Vatista, of course, the character that doesn't really have a lot of melee options outside of those normals. I mean, she has Armabellum, she has Ruber Angelus, but those aren't the most reliable unless they're EX'd. So I really do like to, when I'm playing against Vatista or as Vatista, I do like to keep track of how many range 1 options like that, range 1 reliable options like Sweeper Focus I have left. Now both sweeps are in the gauge for Vatista. Byakuya just initiating with Assault here. Could be a cheeky, I'll plant somewhere over there, in theory. So can't just assume that this is Assault for that reason, because if it's a cheeky, I'll plant it somewhere over there, put that web trap down, and then Assault, Vatista is incredibly sad. Vatista is so sad if that happens. So that's something Vatista actually has to watch out for, is if this is a cheeky, I'll plant it somewhere over there. I think Moriatti realizes this. Okay, he has the Assault anyway. It actually doesn't matter. And it is the cheeky, I'll plant it somewhere over there. Vatista with the EX Assault. Well spent. I mean, that was the correct... I mean, it's EX Assault, right? You're always going to spend that at range 3. But well done there. Able to counteract that huge threat, because if that oil planted somewhere over there landed, Vatista would have lost the game. As we're going to see a big change cards action here. Change cards 6. Looks like to draw 7. Draw 7, discard 1 at end of turn. Vatista, the Queen of Force. So this makes complete sense to me. Nope, we'll just be change cards. Okay, we'll be change card 6. No, we'll be a step back 6. Forcing Byakuya to advance or eat Makoruseo. That's not a real threat. Plus, Byakuya has air dash. Now, why was that not a change cards? Why was that a move back? Because Byakuya has no air dash in hand. So he'll just air dash to range 4. Like, half a block. So, like, whatever attack Vatista is attempting to threaten, not a big deal. And you just spent all your force. And yeah, here comes the air dash. Moving to range 4. I'm a little bit confused on that. Why that option was chosen over change cards. We're going to see Vatista spend 1 force to move back to range 5. But like Byakuya has 2 gauge on top of the 3 cards in hand. Doesn't really need to hit Endless Nightmare. So, I mean, spending the gauge's force is pretty free here. Yeah, I'm not really sure what Vatista's doing here. If I'm being 100% honest, I'm not really sure what the setup is. Surely it's not a 2 damage Makoroseo. No gauge for the whatchamacallits, laser. And Byakuya will spend minced in the form of that boost, I believe it's called Menace. And we're gonna see spending 3 force to move to range 1. What is going what? Well, I am just so confused by what's happening here. This just feels so weird. Hopefully Endless Nightmare's not free. It's probably not, but like hopefully it's not free. Because if Endless Nightmare's free, this game's over. Byakuya looking at that backside, don't think backside's gonna come into play at all. Backside Byakuya is like this weird amalgamation of like a bang type character with like I don't even know. It's kind of hard to explain. As we're gonna take a little bit of a trip around the board here, that Endless Nightmare's threat. I am just so confused by, like, Vatista just threw away 8 force to do nothing, and Byakuya spent 2 cards to counter it. And look at that huge, massive life hand, like, resource lead. Now Vatista's gonna reshuffle. Okay, did Vatista run out of options? I just so baffled by the end of this game. Maybe there's just something I'm missing. We're gonna see the Just Defense on Focus. Wild Swing Focus. This is why Just Defense isn't a good boost, man. That's why Just Defense isn't a good boost. Notably, Byakuya should have taken 2 more damage there. Yep, fixed right now. Because that Focus Armor also drops. Very, very fortunate Wild Swing from Vatista there. Extremely fortunate to get the focus, because Byakuya really should have taken 0 damage there, that strike, but instead took 4. Which can be pretty bad. I'm shocked that Byakuya is not just striking with the Endless Nightmare. I feel like he missed an opportunity 2 turns ago to just swing with that. And it felt like it was such a high probability to hit that Endless Nightmare. But instead, like, goes for like a weird Just Defense focus play. You can go Just Defense Endless Nightmare. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Vatista with the big change cards, that's a move that makes sense to me. Refilling that hand was hot garbage anyway. It's Vatista. Back to Byakuya now, and yeah, these endgames are really... This one in particular has really baffled me. Maybe I'd like to hear what the thought process was, but... I mean, to be fair, that just defense focus is not bad, right? I mean, it was just extremely fortuitous that Vatista wild swung focus into it, so no value was gained, but... Actually, yeah, that's, like, acceptable. I don't know. It just felt like Vatista threw away 8 force, like, 4 turns ago to do nothing. And, like, finally got their footing back into the game. But it took, like, 4 turns for Vatista to get her footing back into this game. Which she's winning now, in theory. Actually, no, not even in theory. I think she's winning now. Because of that wild swing focus. Yeah, that... So basically, the wild swing focus and the wild swing sweep are what is keeping Vatista alive in this scenario. Funnily enough, as we see the superior come out from Vatista. Back to Byakuya here, in a little bit of a pickle, as far as health is concerned, because can't really use those big boy options to deal 6 to Moriatti's HP. Can tech hit the superior into a mix-up in theory? That's a thing that can be done. Like, how baller would a tech hit into an endless nightmare be? That'd be pretty nutty. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think Moriatti will allow that to happen. But that'd be pretty nutty. I don't know. I just wish Shelby had maybe he just thought that maybe the odds were not in that position. As we're gonna see the endless nightmare boosted on the web trap. So surely, no, Vatista, don't move. Please move, Vatista. Please move. Don't boost that. Please move. You have a billion force in your hand. Please move. Don't get caught in the web trap, my friend. Please just move. You can even tech hit it if you want. Tech hit would be actually insane right now. Right here, in this position. Tech hit would be insane. Like, please do not give Byakuya +2 power, +2 speed. Please. You have one job, and your job is to not let that happen. By any means necessary. That's how Byakuya wins. Striking into the... maybe that's okay. Well, no, wait, this is not okay. Byakuya blocks, and then Byakuya strikes with +2 power, +2 speed next turn. What? How is... No, this does not seem correct. Unless Vatista moves out of the way with the strike. If Vatista moves out of the way with the strike, then it makes sense. No, that's no good. That's... No. This is throwing. No. Oh, no. Byakuya gets a free +2 power, +2 speed. Vatista didn't get advantage or move out of the way. Like, Vatista needs to neutralize this web trap. Oh, no. Dude, if Byakuya has spike or dive, it's over. I mean, spike kills. Dive will kill unless second block is in Vatista's hand. Oh, no, not like this. And here comes the removal. Yep, +2 power, +2 speed. Wave the warrior for free. And yeah, that Mikorose is not beating anything. That's GG's. Shelby taking the set 3-2 in what ended up being pretty close overall as far as games are concerned. But the Byakuya, those web traps, man, you can't get caught in them. Lest you want to lose the game. That was just a series of unfortunate events for Moriatti at the end there. I feel like he really lost his footing a little bit in that Vatista game towards the end. But Shelby will take the set 3-2. We'll move on to 2-1. in the Swiss format, which actually doesn't really matter because he can't win. And Moriatti will drop to 1 and 2. Again, also doesn't really matter. I guess that's a little cynical. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter. We're just playing games of Exceed to have fun, I guess, or something. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you for the next one. Take care, everyone.